I've dealt with a lot of disrespect in my life. And for me, it started at home when my mum treated me with complete disregard growing up. And I never felt like I was her daughter. I felt like I was her slave. And it didn't stop there. At school, I was ignored, left out, and bullied relentlessly. And not receiving basic respect became a very painful theme that followed me into adulthood until I finally figured out how to command the respect that I deserved. In this video, I am going to share with you all of my secrets and show you how I was able to break this pattern and gain others' respect without having to put on an act or pretend to be someone that I wasn't. In order to gain respect from others, you first need to know yourself. Understanding your own values, needs, and boundaries is the foundation of self-confidence. Because if you don't even have a clear sense of who you are, other people are going to pick up on that uncertainty and they will define who you are for you. They will dictate how you should behave. And when you don't know who you are, you'll end up bending yourself in order to fit in with the crowd. You will get pushed around and you will feel lost in your relationships and in social situations. There's this line in a Katy Perry song that captures this perfectly.
And now you pushed me past the breaking point. I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything.
What this line means is you have to know who you are and what you stand for with utter conviction and confidence, because then and only then will people feel your power. They will feel from the energy that you're putting out that you are not someone to be messed with. And if they do try to mess you around, they'll be the one feeling embarrassed and foolish when you don't fall for it. So knowing your truth and standing tall in it is the number one way to gain respect from people because it is so rare. Most people are followers and they just do what everyone else is doing. So when you choose to exercise your own individuality, you stand out and people are intrigued by how come you're so confident and unapologetic. So even if they don't vibe with you, they will at least respect you for daring to be your own person. The next skill that you must master to be respected is how to set effective boundaries. When considering what your boundaries should be, you must ensure that they are rooted in self-respect. Because ultimately, being respected by others is a direct reflection of your own self-respect. And I want to clarify what self-respect actually is and what it looks like, because I feel like people have gotten very confused in our modern culture. Self-respect does not mean being selfish, egotistical, or placing your needs ahead of others to an extreme degree. I think that social media has led people away from healthy self-respect into unhealthy self-obsession and self-centeredness. And this whole put yourself first narrative has, in my opinion, birthed a generation of people who are unhealthily focused on themselves and feel entitled. Healthy self-respect does not mean placing yourself on a pedestal and putting other people beneath you so that you can feel worthy. True self-respect sounds like I am important, my needs and desires are important, and so are yours. Your feelings are just as important as mine, and I want to respect and honor the both of us. Healthy self-respect seeks to understand and accommodate other people without being overly sacrificial and still maintaining personal boundaries. And these days, I see that boundaries are being used to enable selfish behavior and lack of cooperation in a sort of, oh, well, these are my boundaries, so now you have to deal with it type of way. And so I want to be very clear about the nuance here. Boundaries are not an excuse to be self-centered. It is always important to be mindful of how your actions impact others. Self-respect without self-awareness and kindness is entitlement. So the key to this is balance. It's about being able to care for both yourself and others without overextending yourself or pushing yourself too far. Boundaries should never be used as a license to disconnect from or disregard the humanity of others. Humans are happiest when we are of service, when we feel like we are contributing meaningfully to other people's lives and making the world a better place. But we need to balance this with taking care of our own well-being and knowing when we need to say no. My third tip is to take responsibility and ownership of your strengths and your limitations. Always do your best to deliver on your commitments, and if you do fall short, own up to it. Apologize and explain why you missed the mark. Do not deflect or make up silly excuses because people respect honesty and accountability. And most of the time, people don't care that you messed up in the first place. They just want you to fix it and to learn from it so it doesn't happen again. And there's nothing more annoying to people than someone who tries to make up ridiculous excuses or insists they didn't do anything wrong, even though it's clear that they did. Avoiding taking ownership is the quickest way to lose the respect of others. Another thing is to own your own strengths and limitations, especially your limitations. So I'll give you an example. When I was a business development manager at a renewable energy startup, I would speak at international conferences, and typically I was presenting our technology to rooms full of engineers and experts in the field. And I was often the only female and the youngest person at these conferences. And I also didn't have a science or engineering background. But I nailed every presentation and people found me refreshing and interesting because I wasn't pretending to be an engineer and trying to talk to them about power electronics. My presentation was focused much more on the real world impact of our technology. And that was my area of expertise. I was in business development. And so whenever I was asked a technical question, I didn't shy away from it or try to bluff my way through it. I would simply say, "That is a great question, sir, and I want to make sure that you get the most accurate answer." I focus on the business development side of things and I don't want to misrepresent the technical details. So I would be very happy to pass your question along to our CTO and ensure that you get a thorough response. And then I would collect their contact details and turn a technical inquiry into a valuable new lead, which was exactly what I was there to do. So whilst I could have been seen as out of place and easily dismissed in this type of academic heavy environment, I wasn't. I was seen as a breath of fresh air. And whilst other presentations were packed with data and charts and diagrams, mine was different and it stood out. And so ultimately, it's about owning what you're good at and being radically honest about what you don't know. Because people respect that. They can't fault you for being real, but they will lose respect for you if you try to fake expertise and you end up fumbling and giving them inaccurate information. My next tip is to act with integrity. Do not be a hypocrite. There is nothing that destroys people's respect for you more than realizing that you are a hypocrite. For example, if you are someone that criticizes other people that cheat on their partners, but then you are found doing the exact same thing, that is just really awkward because when people see that you don't act in alignment with your own standards, that is so off-putting because how can people take you seriously when you're showing them that you're not even taking yourself seriously? So make sure that you're living in alignment with your own principles. Praise others and give credit where it's due. Be a team player because humility is one of the most powerful ways to build trust and respect. Nothing leaves a more terrible impression than someone who is constantly bad-mouthing other people, tearing them down, or taking credit for other people's work. People respect you when you show humility and you recognize the contribution of other people because you can't disregard and disrespect others and yet command respect in return. If you want respect, you have to lead by example. Take pride in your appearance, okay? Do not be sloppy and scruffy because the truth is that we tend to respect people with our eyes first and we instinctively like it when people take care of themselves. So Be clean, be presentable, take care of your body. You don't need to do anything fancy, but putting in the effort shows others that you respect yourself and you take yourself seriously. And when you do that, other people will naturally take you seriously as well. Show up like you are worthy of respect. Stand tall, shoulders back, make eye contact, smile, introduce yourself with confidence. Don't be afraid to take up space and ask for what you need and speak up. If you show up with confidence and with great energy, people will respect that and gravitate towards you. How you deal with disrespect and hate is crucial. So whenever I get treated with disrespect, instead of reacting to it, I take the high road. Whenever I get a mean YouTube comment on my channel, I will do one of three things. I will, one, either play into their mean comment by making it a playful joke, and this completely disarms them. And quite often, this approach causes them to come back to me with a nice response or even apologize. Or two, I thank them for their opinion and I acknowledge how their point of view has merit. And this makes them think, wait, hang on, she agrees with me? And this shifts the energy and opens up a thoughtful conversation. Or three, I thank them for their opinion, respectfully disagree with them, and then wish them well. And all of these responses work because they surprise the other person, because they are expecting you to react negatively and to be hurt by their comment, which they'll then use to fuel an argument. When you don't give that to them and instead turn it into something positive, you completely throw them off guard. And then because they don't know what to do with that, they end up mirroring back your positivity. It's actually very interesting, and I really encourage you to try this because it works so well. Ultimately, the best way to earn respect is to become someone that you respect. These tips that I've shared are designed to help you cultivate the qualities of a person that you yourself would look up to. So if you know that you are a kind, fair, and assertive person, you will naturally show up with the energy of someone who commands respect. People will just know that they can't disrespect you without making themselves look stupid and uncomfortable. You don't need to become someone else to earn respect. You simply need to show the world that you know your own worth and live like it. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please like and subscribe to join the Relove family. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you in my next video.